Hello everybody, today we are going to discuss the latest news to come out of the WoW Classic stratosphere, I guess you could say. And today's video topic is of course going to cover the rumored release date that we got via a tweet from our friend Nano, at NanoNust to be more specific. Awesome dude. He was actually one of the core team members of Nostalrius. So if you want to give him a follow, definitely give him a follow on Twitter. Definitely an awesome source and awesome figure in the WoW Classic community. But anyway, the point of this video is that yesterday, Nano tweeted something that caught a lot of people's interest. Had to do with the potential release date of Naxxramas in WoW Classic, as well as the potential TBC Burning Crusade beta release date in either March or April of 2021. So I just want to kind of go over everything that happened and give my opinion on a couple things related to this post. So let's get started. So for those of you who haven't seen the post so far, I'm just going to read it. It's right in front of us. Haven't confirmed it yet, but the hottest rumors for Classic WoW. Naxxramas release is planned for early December, with a TBC beta rolling out in March/April of 2021. Sooner than expected, but we'll see. So first we're going to discuss this part, but then there's also, he's been responding to a bunch of people's comments and questions, so one thing that I saw that stood out was from another friend of mine, McDowell, had posted, and he asked a question: how do you want them to do TBC servers? Fresh, character copy, or hard transition from the vanilla servers? Which I thought was an excellent question, and that's one of the questions I get asked most in my Twitch chat when it comes to TBC Classic, other than like when I think it's going to come out. So Nano responded, my understanding right now is that they will move the current servers straight to TBC, and then give an option to copy your current Classic character onto a perma vanilla server. So I thought that was very interesting, and that wasn't something that I had considered originally. If I had to guess, I thought that maybe they were going to leave servers as they were, and then give people the option to copy to a TBC realm. But it looks like, well, according to Nano, none of this has been confirmed, by the way. We just want to say that these are rumors, and, maybe somebody told him this who might be an insider, but again, it hasn't been confirmed, so take this with a grain of salt and don't take this as the absolute truth. We're just talking about rumors and opinions here. So according to Nano, he thought the opposite of what I had initially thought, where they will kind of like force everybody into TBC servers, or forcibly transition all of the WoW Classic servers into TBC, and then give people the option, if they want, to copy their character to a perma vanilla server. So that opens up a lot of questions. Will there only be one perma vanilla server to transfer your characters over? Will there be like maybe 2 or 3 PvP, a couple PvE, 1 RP server? So a lot to think about there too, like what are the limitations on this Classic character copy over to a permanent server. So that's interesting to think about. But the way he responded to this, I think that that's probably the most fair thing to do without getting with appeasing the most amount of people, I guess you will. That seems to make the most sense. It seems to me that most people that I speak to will be going to TBC Classic if and when it launches. That's just a general consensus. I've only actually maybe met a few people who have told me that they do not want to move on to TBC and that they would just stay on Classic. So this really does make the most sense to me, that they would just convert the servers into TBC servers. Sorry, my voice. So yeah, I'm actually curious to hear what you guys think about that as well. Do you think that is the most logical thing to do that will appease the most amount of people? Because at the end of the day, you're not going to make everybody happy. We know this. There's always going to be somebody out there who's complaining about something or not happy. You can't make everybody happy. Look at Shadowlands, for instance. We're not going to get into that, but just in general, people will always find something to complain about. Or even Classic. People have been complaining about Classic since the day it was announced. So just trying to make the most amount of people happy, I think this is the right move to convert servers to TBC. So the other thing that I see a lot of people discuss, and I don't know if anybody commented on it below. I'm not going to skim through all the replies here, but a lot of things I've been seeing people request is that they release the ability to create a Blood Elf and a Draenei in somewhat of a pre-patch or something before TBC Classic is actually released. And my opinion on that, I mean, I'm kind of on the fence. What I usually default to is, did they do that back in the day when TBC launched? Or like, even with Classic, a lot of people come into my chat and they'll ask me, hey, do you think they'll ever do faction transfers in Classic? My answer's always been no from day one, because that was never a thing in Vanilla WoW, and I can't see them adding something like that to Classic, which is kind of like a remake of Vanilla WoW, so that's why I don't think they'll ever have a faction change. But likewise with some sort of pre-patch allowing people to make Draenei and Blood Elves in advance, I can't see that happening, because that wasn't how TBC was originally released back in the day. Back in the day, on day one, when TBC came out, if you wanted to make a Blood Elf, you had to wait until the entire expansion came out and then starting from, level 1, or same with the Draenei, same with the Space Goats. So, for me, yeah, I know like a lot of people have been requesting that, and like I've been seeing a lot of chatter about that, but I don't think that would be a possibility, just based on, just on the track record and seeing what happened in the past. And it seems like they do try to mirror their past policies as closely as possible, so we'll see about that. I want to discuss the actual timeline for release here too, which has a lot of people in question. So, like he said, Naxxramas release is planned for early December. That seems kind of early for me, personally. If we look at Classic release, Classic was released August 26th. There was about a 5-month gap between the release of Classic, which was a Molten Core, was available on Ixia, until we got BWL. We got BWL on February 12th. So yeah, it was about a 5-month gap. I also did the math from BWL to AQ, which was like 40-man raid to 40-man raid. That was another 5 months. I know we had ZG in between, and the ZG, which came out in April, that was 63 days after BWL came out. But again, ZG is kind of like a catch-up instance, kind of like an in-between to get people, as I said, caught up if you join the game a little later. So yeah, it seems like 5 months from MC to BWL, 5 months from BWL to AQ, and when I say AQ, that was kind of when the start of the war effort was. I know that the release of AQ, I mean, AQ's not even open on some servers, as I make this video. The war effort hasn't been completed, and Blizzard's actually helping lower pop servers to complete the war effort, so some servers don't have it, but, it's like an estimate from when the war effort began. If we count early December from, say, when the war effort began, which is in July, it's about 4 months. The trend seems to be that they release the big content, the big phase releases every 4 to 5 months. That seems to be when they're releasing things. So if we count from July 28th when the war effort began, you could add a month too if you want to actually count when the AQ gates opened for most people, which was like sometime in August, late August maybe. So if we're counting late August, we got August to September, September to October, October to November, November to December. That's about 4 months. My initial guess was that Naxxramas would come out in early December, but I personally think now, my opinion was that Nax would come out in sometime early 2021. So that was like maybe in January. Sometime in January would be about the 5-month period for Naxxramas to come out. If the TBC beta does come out late March, early April, that gives us about, again, that 4 to 5 month mark to experience Naxxramas and kind of the end of the first cycle of WoW Classic. So, curious to hear what you guys think about that. I don't think that Nax will come out early December. I'll actually be very surprised if it does. And I tried to look up if Blizzard did have any major releases in December, traditionally, going back in time, and it looked like Cataclysm was the only release that was a December release, and that was released on December 7th, 2010. So, since Cataclysm, it's been 10 years almost, we haven't had any releases in December. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but a lot of people bring up the point, well, oh, it's close to the holidays, and, you know, people just want to relax, or they travel for the holidays, and they won't be able to play the game much, so it doesn't make sense to launch Naxx in either early December or during the holiday season. So I'd actually be curious to hear what you guys think about that as well. It kind of makes sense to me. It is always hard to raid, for me personally, when there's holidays going on, and I know a lot of guilds will take a week off or like adjust their raid days if there's a national holiday or something big going on. So I'd be curious what you guys think about that Naxx release date. I still think January for Naxxramas. That's my guess. Let me know what you guys think. And then lastly, I just want to discuss the beta. So he hinted that a beta for TBC might come out in late March/April. Basing my information on the classic beta, we started to hear whispers about a beta in April of last year, and the actual beta didn't launch until May 15th, and it ran for 2 months. It ran until July 15th. So we had a 2-month window beta period. There were a bunch of stress tests too. I think the last one was July 18th or 19th. So the entire like beta period, May, June, July, 2 months. A lot of people were freaking out, and they're like, "Oh no, this is way earlier than I expected." But I don't think so. I don't think it's as early as as you're thinking. Because if we do get a beta, let's say we get a TBC beta on April 1st, allow at least 2 months for us to beta test. So that's all of April, all of May, and let's say it goes into June. Fine, that's 2 months. Start of June. From the last Classic WoW stress test on July 19th, we had to wait 1 month, about a month and a week and a half, 2 weeks, I don't know, 10 days, whatever, until Classic actually launched. So there was a 2-month beta period, and then we had to wait a month, a little over a month, for the actual Classic to release. I know that Blizzard likes to follow trends, especially with beta testing and alpha testing and all that, so just a sneaking suspicion that they would follow a similar trend with the TBC beta testing. And that's assuming that, say, we get an April 1st beta test. Again, basing off Classic, if they release Naxx in January, then I wouldn't expect the TBC beta to drop until May, as they did with Classic. So my guess for TBC beta would be May, and then we'll have a 2-month period of testing. It'll end around July, and then yeah, maybe we'll have either a late July to mid-August release date for TBC. That's just my guess. Thank you guys for listening. I want to hear everybody's opinion on this. I know there's been a lot of discussions going on. Of course, there's a bunch of topics that we could be covering. There's so much more to talk about with TBC. We're just kind of scratching the surface at this point. But if you are looking forward to TBC like I am, please hit the subscribe button, because I will be continuing my Classic content and moving into the TBC territory once TBC drops. So I'm really excited for that. I can't wait to see what happens. It's a very exciting time for WoW, in my opinion. Well, especially if you like Classic and Burning Crusade. One of the huge features of TBC that I'm really looking forward to is Arena. Now, I'm not necessarily a big PvPer myself, but I really enjoy watching PvP. And I think that's something big that was lacking with Classic, is more of a competitive PvP aspect of it. So yeah, I think Arena's going to be big, and I'm looking forward to making some more videos about that, and like how big I think Arena's going to be, and heroic dungeons, and bringing in Blood Elves and Draenei, and flying, which is a a hot topic. A lot of people, some people hate flying, some people love it. So a lot of content to talk about. Again, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Please hit the sub button on YouTube, and please let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to know when you guys think Naxxramas really is going to come out, and the TBC beta. When are they going to announce TBC? That's my question. I thought they were gonna announce it at at BlizzCon this year, but because we're not having a BlizzCon, it kind of got a little pushed to the side. But Blizzard does plan to have a virtual event in early 2021, and that's my guess when they're gonna announce TBC Classic, whenever that early 2021 virtual event is. So stay tuned, guys. A lot of exciting things on the horizon, and I look forward to sharing that with all of you guys. So don't forget to follow the socials in the links below too. Follow me on Twitch. Been streaming a lot lately, so would love to see you pop in and say hi. Alright, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.